Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Before we get into the actual gameplay, I wanted to say thank you to all of those congratulatory notes that I've received from you guys on me becoming a dad. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and it was really warming. We are now currently on day 5. I'm recording this on a Friday, and my wife and my son Quinn are doing really good. As you might know, as a new dad, sleep is at a premium, and that means that I'll probably be making some goofy mistakes in this video. I'm writing that up to a lack of sleep, and just having my mind scrambled because of that. Now, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. The scenario for this one was a bit vague. I don't quite see how the story aligns with this one, so I'm more or less using the settings of the scenario, but I'm going to build my own story around it. I mean, as a newfound dad, I'm going to have to be able to tell stories that haven't been told yet, aka creativity and imagination. So here goes. The British Empire has found that Germany is working on a sort of a new special warship. And for that, they're shipping parts for this new warship to one of their ports. Now, the British caught wind of it, but most of their heavy cruisers are on patrol. They're working on missions in the colonies. Their home fleet is under maintenance or otherwise unavailable. And this means that in order to intercept this convoy, what we have available are 2 light cruisers, 2 destroyers, and only a few torpedo boats. Now, it's been a while since I used those, and I'm very interested to see how well torpedo boats fare now against the increased accuracy and effectiveness of the armament of heavy cruisers and destroyers. Especially the heavy cruisers could be a very lethal threat, although it is 1899, so it might not be that serious yet. I'm going to be designing a light cruiser, and I'm going to try and build something that can take on a heavy cruiser. And I think that the main blow against the heavy cruisers might have to come from torpedoes, which might or not be fired by the light cruisers. So, let's get to designing. A light cruiser. Let's see, what do I want from these ships? What you usually get is a decent hull form, in the form of, more hull form gives you better speed. See, if I switch from the semi-armored cruiser 1 to the light cruiser 2, my speed goes up by 3 knots, which might not seem like a lot, but this is 1899. It's pretty old. Look at that. Hull form here is even higher at 80, but displacement is only 3,500 tons, whereas over here you can go all the way up to 7,000. It's more akin to a heavy cruiser hull, I'd say. It even has a couple of casemates on it. Let's go with the light cruiser 1. I'm not sure if I've ever used this hull, so let's see what I can get away with. Armor is going to be whatever I can find that makes the ship lighter, which turns out to be Krupp Armor 1. Bulkheads minimum. No, you are not an AI designed ship, and that means that you will not have minimum bulkheads. Triple steam expansion engine saves me a little bit of weight. Oh, this is really going to be a problem. Range, nowhere. Look at how fast the weight drops when I reduce speed. Let's see, I could go to 3.5k, right? Yeah, there we go. Maybe I can still... Oof, maybe not. I was saying, or I was about to say, maybe I can get up to 30 knots. But if I go from 23.5 up a mere 3 knots to 26, 26.5, 27, I just gain a load of weight. So I'm going to have to keep this light cruiser small, or at least, no, not so much small. I just want to stick to that 3,500 tons, if I can, but not necessarily fast. Boilers, induced. At least I want a bit more funnel capacity to make sure I don't have to put on too many funnels. Although, with an engine speed of 23 knots, or a speed of 23 knots, I don't really expect that to be much of a problem. Anti-flood 2... See, the problem with these ships is that they're so thin-skinned. I will give them a citadel and I will give them reinforced bulkheads. But a heavy cruiser is probably going to punch clean through the 26 millimeters. Let me reset that to the measurement that I'm used to the 1 inch of armor that this ship has. Now, mandatory items first. Main tower, rear tower, and funnels. Oh, funnels can be placed pretty much everywhere. That is comfortable. For those of you who have been wondering, no, you can no longer rotate funnels, unfortunately. This was a feature before, I think, 7.5, but they patched that out. Maybe because I have been stacking a few too many funnels on a few of the videos that I did. Maybe, maybe they caught on. Anyway, the objective is to sink transports, to sink a few destroyers, because they only have 2, and ideally get rid of their heavy cruisers. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my email. This means that the heavy cruisers are probably the biggest threat. If I can take the heavy cruiser down using the torpedo boats and the DDs, then I can make the light cruiser an anti-destroyer platform. So I'm using the small ships against the big ships, and the bigger ship in the form of the light cruiser against the small ships. These things should still have a very nice firing angle. Quite alright. Rate of fire 15 seconds for a reload on a 5-inch gun? Oh, 10%. Wow. That is not going to win any prizes. How much displacement does that take me? Oh, almost nothing. Almost nothing. Yeah, okay, we're going to go with more 5-inch. Unfortunately, I can't fit there. What can we fit? We can fit 4-inch. Very nice. Fits snugly under the bridge wings over there. Field of fire supposedly even towards the port's stern? I don't expect them to do that. It'd be nice if they could, but I don't expect them to. Now, with a very slow ship, it might turn pretty quick, 439 meters, but I'm not really expecting to need any increased hydraulic systems to make sure that the guns stay on target. So I'm not going to go with that. As for a rangefinder, we are fighting at relatively close distances, which means that a stereoscopic rangefinder is just too much. We're going to go with the coincidence rangefinder 1. And then, auxiliary engines not yet invented here. Let's see. Shell damage 4.5%, higher muzzle velocity. See, I still don't quite know what the game does with muzzle velocity. In World of Warships, I know that higher muzzle velocity leads to, let's say, a greater chance that you hit your target, because the shells float less. But in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, I don't quite know what muzzle velocity impacts. The other ones are clear. I mean, gun range, shell damage, flash fires, it all makes sense. But the muzzle velocity, I don't quite know. Still, I think it's been a while since I used ballistite. I just hope that I don't accidentally get a flash fire. Even if I do, it's going to make for a pretty picture as this entire cruiser blows itself up. Shells. Well, we're taking down destroyers. So I'm going to go with light shells, increasing my reload, doing slightly less damage, but also reducing flash fires a little bit. Alright. I still have 500 tons left to work around with. There are casemates on this ship. And considering that we have them, and that the casemates reload in 5.7 seconds, I think they are potentially worth it. Like over there and over there. These have really nice firing arcs. Yeah, if they can hit a DD and accidentally damage its engine, for example, then that would be very beneficial, as I could use that to then slow the ship down, and then the 5-inch guns can take it out. Now, it's going to tack on some weight here. Not too much. A 4-inch over there. And then we set up a funnel. These things are 120 tons. Normally, it's not that bad. But in this age, these things are pretty impressive as far as the amount of weight that they take up. Because I only have 3,500. Efficiency, 83.9. I am pleasantly surprised. Aft weight offset of only 0.2. One thing I never look at that somebody mentioned is roll. Roll motion is affected by the weight distribution, hull design, and the size of the ship. Adding heavy objects across the beam will increase this motion and negatively affect the gun accuracy and seakeeping of the ship. Basically means you roll more and your guns become less accurate. This is pretty much what it comes down to. It's going to give me a 40% accuracy. Okay, if I remove a gun, what does that do? Ah, it removes it by 3%. Okay. Still, I want to have those guns on there. Pitch is affected by the weight distribution, hull design, and the size along the center line. Yeah, so if you have centerline turrets, then the pitch is going to change. This means that I get another 7% accuracy penalty from sea waves. And I get less of a bonus from cruise speed. Right. A whole new part of this game is getting revealed to me. Can I still fit another? Close? Oh, 1 ton. I can work with that. There we go. 0.8 inches of turret armor. That is not great. That's not great. We don't have any deck armor, which means that if anything impacts this ship by the time that it goes through the ship, well, maybe I can get an overpen. That'd be lovely. Maybe I can get an overpen. Oh, crap, the ship's too heavy. If I take off that torpedo launcher there... Yeah, this is a little better. Can I still add a gun here? You can. That's actually pretty neat. Is it effective, though? Fires out to port and starboard. Decent firing angles. But I'm going to only invest in a 5-inch. Although the game doesn't quite like it. Here, 0.3 is fine. And now I can get at least some armor. I'm going to put quite a bit on the turrets. Because I'm worried that these turrets will fly off the ship. It has happened before. Torpedoes increase to 18-inch. That increases their punching power from, or at least to 2126 from 1728. That's a pretty sizable increase. Yeah, that's a lot of punch. I like that. Propellant. 1.5. So fast is going to cut that even by 35%. So what, 900 meters? 1 click. Well, this is what the game calls fast in 1899. They're 38 knots. They're not quick, but they'll do. Okay. Let's see if I can up armor the conning tower a bit more. 3 inches there. Secondaries. Yeah, secondaries also at 4.5, and then I'm exactly at 3,500. And this is the surprise. No, this is going to be the Quinn. The mighty Quinn. Okay. Let's take the Quinn out to battle. As you guys have requested, is Quinn going to make his appearance in one of my videos? Probably. At some point, I'll have the baby monitor on, and he might willingly or unwillingly make his presence known through the baby monitor, but today not so much. Now the enemy's been spotted to the north, so let's go to the north. And it feels like I have an almost empty ship. I mean, it is a British ship, so they can probably put some sort of tea-making facilities down here in the middle of the deck. But it feels like I'm missing half the ship. If this was an AI designed ship, I imagine they would just plunk it full of funnels. Which would be horribly inefficient, but possible. Let's make this a nice picture. There we go. Alright, so that's my light cruisers. The Quinn and the Inconstant. Destroyers Oracle and Wessex. Oracle merely 700 tons. Pretty speedy boy for a DD from 1899. And 5-inch guns. A couple of 3-inch. 1 2-inch. And a mere single torpedo launcher. Alright. Standard amount of bulkheads. That is comforting. Armor has not yet been attached to this ship. And then the torpedo boats. Whoa, are you alright there? You are listing like a madman. This is the Palmers. We've got the Hasty, the Teaser, and who is the other guy? The Fervent. 1 4-inch gun, a couple of 3, a couple of 2, and again, 1 torpedo launcher. 18-inch, 1 kilometer range, 38 knots. The ships themselves, standard amount of bulkheads, armor not invented here, and 33 knots. Okay. The Fervent. I want the Fervent to join the group of the torpedo boats, and I want the torpedo boats to line up in formation abreast. And I want you guys to go that way. Formation abreast, because that way I have all the ships in a line, and my plan is to rush the heavy cruiser, or heavy cruisers, actually, it's plural, launching torpedoes at them by just charging through them. So if I have a heavy cruiser here, I would have one come in from here and one come in from there. Try to dodge my own torpedoes as they're coming my way. And then hopefully sink the heavy cruiser. That is the plan anyway. Now the rest of the ships are lined up to the Quinn and the Inconstant, to the light cruisers. So this means that I don't have to pay too much attention to their speed. Until we spot the enemy. That's when the fun starts. Now, Palmers, Hasty, Fervent, and Teaser, they're going to be doing some maneuvering until they find that they are in a comfortable position formation-wise. Let's keep that formation tight. I want you guys to slow down a little bit, otherwise they cannot possibly get into formation. So the Palmer should be slowing down. You can see that the Hasty and the Fervent and the Teaser are maintaining speed, because they are not yet in a good position, but they will be soon. Alright, hello gentlemen. You are a couple of unlucky transports. Let's see if the AI is feeling interested in keeping you guys alive. At the moment, not so much. 5-inch guns from the Quinn already opening up. Albeit slowly. But I gotta say, for this range, and for, what is it, calm sea condition? Smooth waves. I only lose a little bit of accuracy. These guns are pretty accurate. They don't disappoint at all. Even the DDs are opening up. They've broken formation with the light cruiser. And that's alright. These guys can just charge in. I want to know where the heavy cruisers are at. Those are the ones that I need to be looking out for. Their DDs? I'm not sure if they're a threat. They might be. They might be. It depends on how many torpedo tubes they have. But I don't know if the torpedo tubes have been... if they have the quad launchers yet. The larger torpedo tubes. I don't believe so. Still, in this age, you only need one torpedo to do serious damage against one of my light cruisers. So far, I'm just seeing 10 transports, which are all 10 of them. Oh, they're firing back at me, by the way. Is that you there? Yep, look at that. Firing back with potentially 2 4-inch guns. I can tell you in a bit what exactly those things are, provided that they live long enough. Hold on a minute. That fire came in from over here. Light cruisers, set a smokescreen. The DDs can charge in, and the light cruisers can turn towards the threat. I'm hoping that the torpedo boats will get there sooner, so that I can get the torpedo boats to rush the targets. You guys still maneuvering? Yeah, okay. Slow down even further to half. I hope they have decent engine efficiency. They can speed up as well. Shellfire appears to be coming out from about 6 clicks out. Quinn is under attack. Gotta tell you, it's a weird situation to now have a son. On the one hand, he occupies the whole day. On the other hand, sometimes I'm just being able to, well, I can play a game for an hour or so, and I go back upstairs to my wife, who's recovering in the bedroom. And I go, oh, right. Oh, right. I have a son. I'm still getting used to the situation. Good lord, you are bristling with guns. I shall inform my torpedo boats of their imminent demise, because this guy looks like he means business. It's like a floating gun battery. I mean, technically all the ships are. All ships, in one way or another, are floating gun batteries. But this guy... Oh, I don't know if I can sink those comfortably. Now, I was correct. The Friedrich Karl is firing back with 4-inch guns. They have to protect that shipment of supplies to get to Germany. Otherwise, Germany cannot build the Dreadnoughts, which at some point might come into existence. Or at least such has been rumored by the intelligence agencies. That they are building a new type of Dreadnought, and we cannot have that. So we're going to take down this convoy, and we're going to make sure that these guys never get their supplies. Now, just for reference about how small these things are, the Oracle is 700 tons. This thing, the Dresden, is more than 12 times the weight. That's how heavy that transport is relative to the DD. I carry only 4 torpedoes. So that means we're going to have to gun this guy down. I fully expect to need my torpedoes just to take down the cruisers. The heavies. Ah, there goes one. This is an ominous looking smokescreen over here. That's only 4 clicks out from the torpedo boats. Come on, Fervent. Alright, fuck it. Flank. We're gonna move towards that heavy cruiser. Oracle has taken a bit of damage. It's time to set a smokescreen. The heavy cruiser appears to be moving this way, along with her sister ship. So my plan is to sort of zigzag around, come in from here, and the torpedo boats are going to attack from a slightly different vector. If they can get close. That remains to be seen. Because the Palmer's is already getting hit. Palmer's is trying to get up to 32 knots. And she's accelerating pretty rapidly at that. The German transports are in a bit of disarray. Oh, it is so tempting to just send a torpedo into the Fritjof, but I need the torps. Cruisers still working away on the transports. I wonder if they can even hit these guys so far. Yeah, they probably can. I can fire out to 7.2. But at this range, I fully expect that to be inefficient. So let's get rid of the ships that we can hit at the moment. Oracle, it's time to start turning. Oh, hello, DD. Good lord, you're close. Quinn, engage the destroyer. My torpedo is only range of 1. What can you tell me? Visual identification. Torpedo tube 1, stern. Excellent. Ooh, Oracle's having a really rough time. Oracle, torpedo's green. Against this thing. I hope that these things can dodge. Hasty. Listen up. You're going to continue on course. Palmer's, hard to port. Try and torpedo the V2. Maximum turn. Hasty. Turn in. Incoming torpedo from the V2. The Palmer's fortunately is working on a turn, but I don't know if she's fast enough. These torpedoes are 38 knots. Yeah, we should be fine. Steady course. Torpedo away on the V1, if you can. No, don't kick in with the automatic collision avoidance. Oh, shit. Torpedo inbound. Maximum port rudder. Flooding on the ship. Torpedo away from Hasty. Hold on a minute. Something hit. DD hits torpedo boat. What? No, sorry, hits transport. That was the Oracle. The Oracle survived. For now. And Dresden seems to also have her torpedo away. I'm just not sure exactly where that torpedo is right now, but I have better things to focus at. Right here. The DDs are not waiting to get torpedoed either. These guys are very much kicking back and dodging. And that sucks, because it means that the V1 and the V2 could still very much be a threat. There goes Dresden. The light cruiser is so uncomfortable or low confident about her ability to hit the ship that she's just not even trying at this point. Now I gotta be careful with these DDs because they are slippery and they can reload quickly. They reload in 262.5 seconds. Torpedo is running long from the DD, from the TB, but I don't expect it to hit. For the simple reason that this DD is not going to be anywhere near, and the torpedo only has a range of 1. So it's probably going to run out pretty soon. I want you guys to continue on your way here, and not to torpedo anything else while you're on the way. The heavy cruisers have been identified. We get the Kaiserin Augusta and the Lippe. Few bulkheads, oh yes. Translation, you are ready to flood. Flash fire on the teaser. Good lord, you have a bad day. Oof. It does make for a pretty picture though. Bad day at the office for the teaser. Oh, opportunity. These things are heading away. And they're doing so at a mere 20 knots. If I can get the teaser to maintain her course and her speed, she might be able to approach the Kaiserin and the Lippe from the stern, which means that all of those guns on the side don't have an angle. I just hope that she's able to maintain speed, at least relatively well. I don't think that the Palmers is going to survive. Ooh, good hits. That came in from the DD. Sorry, from the torpedo boats. Yep, the torpedo boats, I think it might be the Hasty, is pulling some serious numbers on the V1. Nice work, guys. Really nice work. Are you guys having a hug? No, not yet. Light cruisers, chance to pen. 44%. That's not bad. Let's switch fire. I'll have the secondaries continue on the Alsace. Teaser's still going strong. Look at this guy. The V1's flooding out. Standard amount of bulkheads. Palmers, engage the target. Although at this point I wouldn't be surprised if you don't really have anybody left to fire the guns. Because it looks like a funeral barge more than an actual ship. Same can be said for the teaser. Ooh, do I torp the DD? Or do I continue on for the cruiser? I don't think she's going to continue to be alive long enough. Range 400 meters. So it's going to be down to the light cruisers to try and take out the heavies. Which is a daunting prospect. Come on. He's getting away. Get the torpedo tube. Oh, you might be a slow tube. Like, it doesn't rotate particularly. Oh! Okay. What was that? Did you get an ammunition hit? Oh! You got killed off by your own heavy cruiser! Well, that sucks. An 8-inch shell from one of the heavy cruisers knocked out the V2. The Palmers is unfortunately gone, but not before doing a serious amount of damage to the V1. Hasty, not so hasty anymore, having only two engines left. Running under the assumption that they can still use 3 engines. Another flash fire happens to the V2. Stuttgart is down. A torpedo slams into the Cormoran? From who? From a torpedo boat? Really? I don't even know what torpedo boat was given that order. The teaser, I guess? Yeah, the teaser was given the order to torpedo the Cormoran. Yeah, of course. See? This is what you get when you get sleep deprived. You forget what happened a moment ago. I really have noticed that. It's like your brain is foggy, for lack of a better term. Anyway, I did give the order to torpedo the Cormoran because I didn't know how much longer the teaser was going to be around. The same thing, unfortunately, will probably apply to the Hasty. So I'll allow her to launch her torpedoes. Well, singular, actually. Torpedo away. Hasty, well, disengage, I guess? Well, there's still a ship to disengage with. Torpedo slams into the Alsace, which starts to flood, but it's a transporter with maximum bulkheads. Alright. Let's set a smoke screen again and continue our advance towards the heavy cruisers. Chance to pen is pretty dreadful. 26% only. Does that have to do with angling? No. Curious. Secondaries, still working on the transport. Put the secondaries in the Cormoran. In case you don't know how to only have your secondaries engage something, hold Alt and right click. That way you can only set the secondaries to hit that particular target. In my case, I know that the Quinn and the Inconstant are not going to be effective with the secondaries against the heavy cruisers. So I've decided to just have them focus on the Cormoran with those casemate 3-inch guns that I put on. Now, the Kaiserin Augusta has torpedoes, port and starboard. So I might have to do some dodging. What's your range? 1.5. Okay, so that's a little better. I hit another ship with it. You hit it with a torp? Impressive. Unfortunately, just before the V1 went down, she sent out one of her own. And I don't know if the Hasty is capable of dodging that. It's gonna come right down to the wire. Yeah, she's fine. Alright. She's fine. Whew. Anybody else behind it that I need to be careful with? No. Where are my DDs? Get this way. Quinn, current range 1.5. I'm expecting the torpedo launch from the heavy cruiser relatively soon. Because they... well... they might have an angle. At this point, the Kaiserin Augusta is firing at me with the 8, the 5, the 4 and the 2. All guns blazing. And they're working on attacking not the light cruiser, that's really close, but the torpedo boat, the Fervent. Interesting. I thought the AI would prioritize it a little different. I'm not opposed to their choice of target selection. I quite like that. This allows the Quinn to sneak up, well, to move closer to the Kaiserin Augusta. And by doing so, maybe land a torp on her. Which, if it hits, I expect to do a lot of flooding damage. She does have an anti-flooding system. A small anti-torpedo system. But I'm hoping that those two are not going to be enough to just stop the flooding. Another torpedo hits. That was the Hasty. She landed a torp on the Alsace, which is once again flooding, but these transports are tough. Really tough. Oracle is still fighting it out with Fritjof. And yes, I'm fighting it out with a transport, because this guy is fighting back. I'm probably doing some serious damage against the Oracle. Wessex, on the other hand, somewhere else entirely, can continue on. Quinn smokescreen is going to run for another 20 seconds. Oh, I need a bit more. I know that I'm a bit faster than the Kaiserin, but not by much. Fortunately, they're not doing top speed. Oh, it looks like the Kaiserin is now waking up to what I'm doing and is trying to engage the light cruiser. I had expected my torpedo boats to be, well, pretty dead at this point, but they're not. What are you doing? No, 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 no. I tried handing the ship off to the AI, but it's going to be doing all sorts of weird stuff, and I don't want it to do. Teaser. A bit of a teaser as far as it comes down to speed. She was doing 33, she's limited to 8. Fervent, not much better, she's doing 11. If that. Now officially the Kaiserin is in torpedo range, but she's heading away. So I'm very much doubtful as to whether I'll be able to get a torpedo landed on that ship. I don't expect that I will, because the torpedo is going to head in that way, run out over there, and by that time the Kaiserin Augusta has moved outside of the torpedo range. So once again, continue to chase down the ship. In the meanwhile, we are still locked on to something else, I guess. Let's continue on the mains. Fervent seems to be drawing a lot of attention from the secondaries. Oh, all the weapons actually. Oracle, what? Did you get your ass handed to you by a transport? Is that what happened? Yeah. You got your ass handed to you by a transport. Okay. Well, that happens. Tough transport, gotta give it that. It does have 4 4-inch guns, which is probably more. It's more firepower than my DDs have. Oh well. 800 meters out. We're barely doing any damage. The Fervent is down. That's going to be really bad news for the light cruisers, because they are now going to be the focal point. Continue closing the distance. About 500 meters, I'm getting pretty confident that I can land a hit. But now that angle coming up from behind the ship is working against me. Because while initially it was very useful, right now it's not, because it means that I'm targeting something that's pretty small, relatively seen. Alright, I'm going to need you to turn hard starboard. And hopefully land your torpedo while still dodging theirs. And I know that's a lot to ask. Please don't tell me the Kaiserin's maneuvering too much. Oh, engine damage on the Quinn. 800 meters out. Come on. Oh, 2, 3 fires on the ship. 4, actually. Torpedo inbound. Quinn's not listening to respond to commands, which is fairly accurate of what's happening in the real world. I am in a turn, so maybe I can still avoid. Wessex is trying to race up to the heavy cruiser to assist. She still carries 3 torpedoes and a smokescreen. Let's hope that she's able to race up to the heavy cruiser and torpedo her. Quinn should be fine as far as that torpedo is concerned. Yeah, he'll be fine. I'm just gonna make sure that the AI's collision avoidance system doesn't kick in and try to turn one light cruiser away from the other. See? It's already doing it. That angle right there. It's already doing it. How many torpedo boats do we still have that are actually capable of doing anything? Turn there. We got... Oh. Jesus, are you getting rammed? Oh, Lord. Okay. That looks really ominous. Oh, no. I'm getting all sorts of fantastic thumbnail possibilities for this vid. Just imagine being that torpedo boat. Initially you're thinking, haha, we're the predator. And he's the prey. And then the prey comes at you and rams your ass. That, I don't even know how to capture that in a thumbnail. Like that, I guess? It was just a little bit too late. Hasty. Look at how much damage Hasty is taking from that ram. It's pretty much getting run over by the transport Graf Spee, which, there goes the Hasty, which with our maximum bulkheads, or standard amount of bulkheads, probably doesn't feel too much from that ram. Roadkill by a transport. That is something I have not yet encountered. And Constant and Quinn are having a bit of an encounter. Wessex, please survive. Because I don't know how else to take down the heavy cruisers. Because the guns on the light cruisers are inefficient. Or ineffective. And the only thing I can think of is a torpedo launch. But seriously, roadkill by transport. What the hell? And I can guarantee you that the AI wasn't even doing it on purpose. It was just a transport lumbering along, and it just happened to run into a torpedo boat. Oof. Wessex is having a particularly tough time trying to get into torpedo range. She used to be quick. She's doing 25 at best. Smoke screen's going to run out in a few minutes. Oh, I need to be maneuvering more. That's what I'm forgetting. I need to be maneuvering more. Keep throwing that rudder around. So the more you maneuver, the more you present yourself as an unlikely or difficult to hit target, the more the AI will miss. See? Although that could have been very much confirmation bias. Still doing 25, yes? 24. What are you even trying to hit, buddy? What is that heavy cruiser trying to do? Hold on, what even sunk the mains? Oh, that was my effective. Yeah, that was my fire. I was wondering if it accidentally would have gotten hit by a heavy cruiser shell. It would not be the first time. Dodge, Wessex. Dodge. Chase splashes. Hard to starboard. Range 1400 meters. Range on the torp 1. Back to port. Another engine's gone. Nah, she's not going to be able to get into range. It feels like I'm getting kited by the heavy cruisers. Very effectively at that. Now the teaser still has some firepower left. We got a couple of wounded transports here, but as we have seen, even wounded transports can be exceptionally lethal if they ram you. Inconstant. Oh no. I'm so close. I'm 1200 meters out. Flooding on Wessex. Speed reduced to 7.5 knots. Ideally, she would provide a distraction for long enough for the Inconstant to get into range. But at this point, she's a sitting duck. And the heavy cruiser knows it. There we go. That's the Wessex down. Her chance to pen is probably about 100. Yeah. So, time for the Inconstant to also start weaving. Should have done that a long time ago, but I find that weaving with so many different ships, it's a lot of micromanagement. Which, under ideal circumstances, I might be able to do somewhat. But, with my half sleep-deprived brain, I'm not sure if I can. In case you're wondering, why don't you take a break from YouTube while you just got a kid? Well, this does pay rent. This is my job, the YouTube channel. So, it's not like I can just take a break. I need to make these vids. I have to keep you lot entertained. And I gotta say, it is nice to be uttering the words, "Hey guys, stealth here again." Although I might have uttered those to Quinn a few times already. Although it also went something to the tune of, "Hey Quinn, dad here." Something like that. And I know that you might just be some random person on this side of a screen, but it's, I don't know, it feels good to be sort of talking to you again, as weird as that sounds. For a second I was hoping that the heavy cruisers might run out of ammunition, but judging by the exceptionally high amount of ammo that they still carry, I don't find that to be a particularly fortunate scenario. Increased ammo for the torpedoes, standard complement of shells. But if you carry that many guns, you also have the magazines to keep those things going. And this is when I regret not bringing a bow and stern tube. Not that they would have been an instant solution, but they would have helped. 22 knots is what I'm possibly going to be able to get up to. Let me guess. 19 and 9, yeah. Oh, damn. What's the teaser doing at this point? The teaser's running out of ammunition. Are you getting hit? Yeah, you are. Shit. A couple of transports are messing up the teaser. That is not what I had planned. I don't see myself winning this one. Some flooding on the Kaiserin. Might slow her down some, but she does have an anti-flooding system. Oh, it's pretty serious. It's 2 compartments? What the hell? 17.8. That is very nice. 17.4. She's definitely slowing down. That took... Oh, ow. That took a good chunk out of her buoyancy. Although, look at that. 80, 82, 83, 84... Duck and weave. Duck and weave. Especially important before you run out of steam. And before you're not even able to get to the target anymore. Keep going, buddy. Keep going. Ooh. 1200 meters. Keep going. Teaser launched the torpedo. She's out of ammunition for the torps. And she's out of ammunition for the 4-inch. AI, handle that ship. I gotta handle the inconstant. Still 1.2. Kaiserin Augusta is gaining speed again. Unlike the inconstant. Oh, another flooding. They're just shooting clean through the bow of the inconstant at this point. And with an 8-inch gun, I can't blame them. Probably the 5-inch is enough. 5-inch... 1000 meter range, 10-inch of armor. Yeah, good night. Best I have is 4.5-inch on the turret. But maybe that worked. Because I have not yet gotten a flash fire. Quinn. Quinn's doing 20. Which means I won't be able to catch up to the Lippe at all. And the Kaiserin Augusta, maybe. Whoa, she got rid of her buoyancy problem altogether? Good work. I mean, not for me, but damn. You know what? We could disengage and just take out the transports, because in a way, story-wise, that's what we came here for. Oh, no, 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 no. Jeez, you hand over control of the ship to the AI and it starts to go on a rampage. Looking to ram other ships. Let's not do that. I'm not sure if you were paying attention to how that how it turned out for your buddy, but it wasn't too pretty. Smoke it up. Smoke it up. You guys don't want to play? That's fine. We did some damage. We scared you off from the convoy. And it looks like the teaser, even with our 3-inch and 2-inch guns, is still somewhat effective. Very effective, actually, for a 2-inch gun. Unfortunately, that goes both ways. Because you're still getting shot at by the Cormoran. I gotta get rid of the Cormoran first, because she's armed. Frankfurt is not. The Alsace is not, and the Graf Spee is not. I may accomplish the mission of sinking the transports, but I'm not sure if it's going to be actual victory for the British. Because we did lose 3 torpedo boats doing that. And we did lose 2 destroyers doing that. Now, destroyer is maybe an optimistic term, because this is about 450 tons, the torpedo boat. The DD was 700. So, in a way, an upsized torpedo boat. Sort of. But still, if this allows the British Empire to maintain dominance of the seas by not having to worry about the dreadnoughts from the Germans coming into the effect, then I'd say, in a way, that's a win. Now, can we flood her, or can we just kill off her structural integrity? You know what? Turn the other way. 61 rounds left on the 3-inch. The 2-inch... That's a bow gun? Oh, with a terrible firing angle. It's like they built that thing in between the... Oh, I'm hesitant to call it bridge. But bridge and casemate. Alright, the light cruisers are coming back. I don't even know where the heavy cruisers are anymore. But I scared them off sufficiently, seemingly, to get rid of the heavy cruisers. And I can just go to town on the transports. I can pan that ship, right? Yeah, it's not a transport with armor. I'm not sure if those even exist. But just checking. Still plenty of ammunition left on the light cruisers. I just need to wait for them to get here. Speed. What can you guys still accomplish? 20 knots. Seeing that you guys took a fair amount of damage. That's good. And the inconstant? 17 knots. Ooh, cheaty, cheaty. I can still see where the heavy cruiser is, but just following the line. It's there. It's right there. 10 kilometers out. Which means that, considering I'm slightly faster than they are, they cannot damage me, or, well, they cannot hit me. They cannot intercept me. They're not fast enough. Unfortunately, the teaser does go down. That was from, yep, the Cormoran. Sunk by a transport. If it's not roadkill, it is just straight up killing it off using your gun. That simple. Oh well. Let's see if I can find the rest of the transports. Moving to 10 times speed. I mean, I know relatively where they are, about here. And move in and kill them off. And then we shall call it a day. Enemy smoke spotted to the north. Yeah, that would be the heavy cruisers. But I'm not looking for those. Where did these things go? Oh, hello. There you are. 6 clicks out. I think the Quinn might have spotted that at a range of about 4.5. Relatively close. Already inflicting damage on the Cormoran again. Now still, what I would want to see in this game is that the AI just keeps their heavy cruisers either pushing me or within, let's say, 3-kilometer range of the transport. If you add such a rule, and I'm not sure if it's possible coding-wise, but let's say if ship is escort, then range to transport may not exceed 3 kilometers in layman's terms. If you do it like that, then you can actually have a screening force by the AI. Because right now what I did was just chase off the heavy cruisers using light cruisers, torpedo boats and destroyers, and I turned around and I hit them. Because they exceeded that range. They went to about, what was it, they're 10 clicks behind me, and I'm about 5 clicks from them. So let's say they went to about 15, 18 kilometers out. That's pretty damn far. They should have just stuck with their protectees. Cormoran is getting some payback for the sinking of one of my torpedo boats. And I'm also particularly looking forward to killing off the Frankfurt. With her, or was it the other one? Yeah, it was the Graf Spee. Lots of bulkheads and 18,000 tons against one of those small torpedo boats of 450. That thing did not stand a chance. Not at all. At this point, I might as well use the torpedoes. Boom. Oh, you already used the torpedoes. Understood. Let's get some vengeance on the Graf Spee. Elsa's taking some serious damage. Cargo storage is damaged. I still don't quite know what that's going to mean, but I imagine that in the campaign, coming hopefully sometime later this year, it's going to mean that some of the cargo that you were transporting on the ship either gets damaged or destroyed. So that, let's say you were shipping, I don't know, parts, cargo, I don't know, could be food, from one port to another. And if your convoy gets raided, so if it gets hit, your transports get hit, that you then lose some of that cargo. Not necessarily destroying it or getting rid of all the transports and as such all the cargo, but just a bunch of it. If that is how it would work, then I imagine you could just use, let's say, a raiding battle cruiser or heavy cruiser that could in order to sort of race up to the transports, deal a load of damage, not necessarily sink them, but sort of cut down the amount of supplies that these transports are eventually able to supply to the port of call, to the port of destination. That is a mechanic that I would really love in this game. Now, at this point, it is of course just mopping up the transports, so it's not particularly enticing video. But still, I wanted to finish up the scenario here. We got 3 transports. Oh, there goes Frankfurt. Heavy flooding. Fuck me. Well, I'll be able to get 9 out of 10 transports because another one is 33 kilometers out. Maybe that's the one that the heavy cruisers were still sort of escorting. Let's go with that for the canon. For the story of this mission. Maybe that was the most important transport, or that was the ship that the heavy cruisers were tasked with keeping safe beyond all others. And that pretty much they sacrificed the other ships so that that particular transport may live. Torpedo out from the Inconstant. Should be enough to finish off the Alsace, or Alsace. There we go. And that just leaves the Graf Spee. Torpedo away from both the Quinn and the Inconstant, which look like they are both going to have a bit of a collision. 2 torps. There we go. If you just overrule what the ships are supposed to do, there we are. Alright guys, that's it for this scenario. I took out 9 of the transports. I had a very interesting duel / chase around with the heavy cruisers. And I hope you guys enjoyed the scenario. If you have one of your own, be sure to send that in. You can do that through the submission form down below, linked in the description. That's the only way I accept scenarios. Because I just don't need these things in the comment section. I had them at some point, but they were just getting, well, hundreds in the comment section every time. So just submit it through the link down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for all the well-wishing. We're all doing very well, albeit tired, but we're doing well, and we're enjoying our little guy, Quinn, which is, of course, why I named the light cruiser Quinn. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you soon for another video.